New York residents are feeling the aftermath of Hurricane Sandy. We have the latest in the current conditions.
Hurricane Sandy began as just a tropical wave. We'll tell you how it transformed into the superstorm of the century.
And a local mayoral candidate is receiving a big endorsement by a former president. How this might help sway the vote in the tight race.
Stay tuned because I will have your weekend weather forecast. Newscene starts right now.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Newscene. I'm Charlie Viramontes.
And I'm Claudia Simones. Thank you for joining us.
This is the northeastern portion of the nation, the area most affected by Hurricane Sandy. Now, when the hurricane hit landfall, it became this massive storm that caused millions flooded, powerless, and homeless. Now that the storm is headed up to Canada, it's causing them plenty of rainfall and snowfall as well. The storm hasn't only affected the East Coast, it has affected residents in San Diego who actually have loved ones in the East Coast who they can't get a hold of. Later on in the newscast, I will have your weekend weather forecast, San Diego. For now, back to Charlie at the news desk.
Thank you, Manny. We look forward to that. Motorists are fuming as the aftermath of Sandy has left them practically stranded. People have been waiting for hours, if not days in line, just at stations to get a gallon in their tank.
I was online at 3 gas stations. They all closed down when I was getting close.
So this is your fourth try getting gas?
I missed a day of work.
We come from Jersey. It took us probably 3 hours to get into the city. There's no gas there. And just to say, I think it's a shame what's happening.
It's a shame what's happening.
No one was prepared.
This situation could improve in the following days as pipelines are resuming fuel deliveries. What a big impact Sandy has had on the U.S. David, what can you tell us about it?
That's right, Charlie and Claudia. Hurricane Sandy has devastated most of the East Coast. Hurricane released her turbulent forces on New England Monday. The superstorm has displaced millions, while what's left of Sandy is dismissed. Hurricane Sandy made her mark early this week as a superstorm of the century. She began as one tropical wave in the Caribbean Sea and quickly turned for the worst. Widespread flooding and monster waves took a deadly toll in Jamaica as Sandy moved north over the Atlantic. It was a perfect storm setup never seen before that urged President Barack Obama to warn this nation for what to come.
The other thing that makes this storm unique is we anticipate that it is going to be slow moving. That means that it may take a long time not only to clear but also to get, for example, the power companies back in to clear trees and to put things back in place so that folks can start moving back home.
By Friday evening, Sandy straightened to a Category 1 hurricane with sustained winds of over 75 miles per hour. On Sunday, the National Hurricane Center issued several alerts for the Northeast. Projected paths predicted a direct hit off the coast of New York, affecting 60 million people. New England felt Sandy's intense rain, wind, and flooding as she made landfall. The oddity of this rare late-season storm was intensified by joining forces of an approaching cold front. President Obama addresses the ongoing warnings.
It is still moving north. There are still communities that could be affected. And so I want to emphasize there's still risks of flooding. There are still risks of downed power lines, risks of high winds.
The wintry side of Sandy piled feet of snow on portions of West Virginia and Ohio. The damage lingered as Sandy downgraded from a superstorm to a cold core low-pressure system. For a storm of this size, intensity, and duration, the images will be forever remembered. Sandy's right weather conditions were each placed together in a piece like a puzzle. This was a perfect storm. This monster of a storm lasted for only a few days. However, the aftermath tells another angle of the story. So, Charlie and Claudia, that was the weather aspect of Hurricane Sandy.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, David. And with all the details of the damages that this storm left behind, our very own Dallas Richter is here with all the information. Dallas.
Thank you. The damage has been extensive, and as the wind dies down and the sun comes out, people on the East Coast and all over the United States are feeling the effects of Superstorm Sandy. The scope of the storm's wrath has hit home here at City College. Allie Browne remembers the neighbors she lost this week.
I remember Mr. Lucky as the guy who used to give me Smarties every single time I saw him.
Allie is from Brooklyn, an area hit hard by the superstorm. Like most people with evacuated family, she has had limited contact due to power outages.
My family's in New York and New Jersey and around that area, and right now they're all flooded or without power or in evacuation centers, and I haven't been able to get in touch with my family much. So I really don't know much of what's going on.
She was faced with the hard task of telling her parents about a tragic accident on her street.
One of my neighbors, the Luckies, their home was the one that got destroyed, and their roof ended up collapsing, and their kids were in their basement. So the kids are okay, but they're not okay. They died.
This is a sentiment shared by many Americans who have family on the East Coast.
It's just scary.
With the death count totaling 96 in the United States, Americans are looking forward to rebuilding and recovery. Dallas Richter, Newscene. States are beginning to pick up the pieces this week as Sandy dies out. Homes along the East Coast have been destroyed, leaving thousands of people displaced. Analysts estimate the damages at around $50 billion, 20% of which is insured. There is a predicted $500 billion in lost advertising revenue and millions lost in tourist revenue over the Halloween weekend. New Jersey was one of the states hit hardest by the superstorm. Iconic seaside heights in the Jersey Shore were swept away. Multi-million-dollar homes that line the beach have been reduced to piles of debris. Governor Christie has been touring the state, bringing hope and help to those who need it.
And so we will get up and we'll get this thing rebuilt and we'll put things back together, because that's what this state is all about.
President Obama joined Governor Christie to assess the damage and to give his support. People in New Jersey and New York are dealing with a crippled transit system as people start going back to work. Residents in New Jersey waited in line for hours to stock up on gas, while in New York, the subway system creaked back into service yesterday after enduring days of flooding and damage. Thousands of people stood in line for the few running buses in New York City and even walked their daily commute over the Brooklyn Bridge.
Normally our train, 35 minutes door to door, so I'm expecting a 2-hour walk.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo has waived transit fees for the next week, but this is just the beginning. It will take weeks and even months for the East Coast sophisticated transit system to be up and running again. So just in, the New York City Marathon has been canceled. That's just been reported. So another sad tale in this tragic story.
Thank you, Dallas.
Thank you, Dallas. In response to Superstorm Sandy, President Obama has been focusing his attention on relief efforts. The president canceled campaign events in the critical state of Ohio in order to visit New Jersey to assess the damage. President Obama has also visited the Federal Emergency Management Agency as well as the Red Cross. Republican opponent Mitt Romney visited relief sites in Ohio. When asked what his response to the storm would be, he simply gave no answer. The spokesperson later stated Romney believes that states should be in charge of emergency management in responding to storms and other natural disasters in their jurisdiction.
It's called the Waffle House Index. The Federal Emergency Management Agency has been using it since 2006. FEMA Director Craig Fugate developed the index as a tool for assessing damage after a natural disaster. The index was first issued after Hurricane Irene. Seems the operational status of a Waffle House restaurant also reflects the conditions of the surrounding area. The chain has a reputation for staying open in extreme weather conditions. The only catch this time is a 24-hour coffee house does not have locations in all the states who are affected by the storm. Election Day is less than a week away. After a break, we'll sum up some of the major props on the ballot.
And is San Diego prepared for a zombie apocalypse? Find out how local military is preparing to fight the undead.